Yo, what's up? It's your boy, fucking trying to look jacked, trying to look as jacked as I can, at as old as I've ever been. But I feel like we're all as old as we've ever been every day. Just leaving one of my dude's houses down in Virgin Islands. Just living the dream, driving around, teaching people to be jacked and tan and healthy and all that shit. Yeah, but it's cool, man. It's like anywhere or anything that you do in life. It's like everything has pros and cons, and sometimes I just like a change, something different. But yeah, this is cool. Cool part of my life. And lately, the mindset to it all has been just it's like these are the days that you remember, and it's like those days are just like today. So if you don't make them memorable, man, they're just gonna float away, and you're not even gonna remember them, and you're gonna just kind of be focused on the past and what life used to be. I don't know, whenever that was, as a kid or teenager or in your 20s or 30s or whatever. But yeah, man, been trying to really live more like that. Like today, these are the days. So like make them memorable, whatever that means to you. But yeah, leaving my buddy's house. I got like a 40-minute drive, or probably 30-minute really. So yeah, just been doing these little videos, just kind of like I'm talking to somebody like I know, like a buddy or something, or a friend or brother, clients. I don't know, to me that feels like it's more personal, like I can really get into talking about details in my life and stuff. But yeah, man, I kind of wanted to talk about, piggybacking off of that, like making these the days of your life that you remember, like the good old days or today. It's I was gonna kind of go into a little bit of like my story, not like crazy details, but just kind of how I became, a personal trainer or into fitness and health and all that kind of stuff. But really, I think for me, it all probably started with just like the cartoons and the TV that I would watch, or movies me and my older brother Willie would watch as kids growing up. It was like He-Man and Rambo and anything with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Conan the Barbarian. It's like all these guys were juiced to the gills on steroids, which, is whatever. Do whatever you want. I've never done steroids. I've always just trying to be as natural as I could and get as jacked as I could naturally. And it can be a little depressing because, I remember just being at gyms like 10 years into lifting, like really great physique, and then just some kid coming in that was like new as hell, getting on some juice for 3-4 months and just being completely just stronger and bigger and more jacked. But they would always yo-yo, and they never actually had to figure out the right things to do in the gym and at home with sleep and nutrition and supplements and whatever mindsets to actually change and develop. So I don't know what that lady was. The lady was just waving at me. But yeah, something about taking the long way, the right way. It's like, it was my right way. Anyway, someone else's right way might be steroids and shit. I don't know. Do whatever you want. But, yeah, man. So, getting into weightlifting and stuff. Finding a gym to go to. All this outside stuff on my car. Just people driving on the wrong side of the road. Try not to get killed while I tape this. But, yeah, getting into weightlifting at my high school. Actually, I guess a little bit before that, my dad got me like a bench press and a bar and some some weights and stuff at like, I don't know, I was probably 10 or 11 years old, and some crackhead or something. My dad always had like crackhead buddies that owed him money and shit. But one of these crackheads just like, I think they just paid him in some weights that they had at their house. So he brought him over to my mom's house. I set him up under the stairs like Harry Potter, but without all the stupid magic stuff. My magic was just getting jacked. But put it under the stairs in the basement, and yeah, just kind of started figuring stuff out, man. Like reading magazines, trying to figure out like what these dudes did to get all big and jacked. And I started doing some stuff. I started seeing like some difference. And I think kind of like the next progression was really just the high school gym, which like nobody went to. I used to have to like take like a little panel of glass off the window to get in. It wasn't even a real gym. It was like an old classroom in the basement. And they had decent equipment. None of it was new. It was all like old and donated. But like, man, sometimes the older shit like Nautilus and just bare bones stuff, man, it's the best. There's like some cable pulleys, squat racks, all that kind of stuff. Because I never did legs at home. It was just like benching and arms and curling and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of how like everybody starts, I think. But yeah, so I had like this whole weight room to myself. It wasn't supervised. I would just sneak in every day, and every once in a while, like some teacher or something would come down there just to like, I don't know, work out or get something or check on it. And I remember having to like hide if it was like a teacher I didn't like, or if it was like a cool teacher, I would just, like the wrestling coaches or football coaches or anything like that, they'd be cool with it. They'd just be like, they knew I was responsible. But yeah, man, just started working out there, making huge gains. Had my buddies would come down, and I would kind of teach them everything I knew, and none of them would stick with it for like more than a couple of weeks at a time. And but it was nice for me. Like I got to teach a little bit, and I feel like that's one of the best ways to learn or keep redoing the basics for yourself. I know it's like that with like martial arts. Like I like teaching jiu-jitsu, and it reminds me the basics and stuff. Same with weightlifting and everything. It just reminds me of the things that got me to where I'm at, which is a good thing to do frequently. It always keeps you at the basics. But after that, I think I was like 15. I think my mom got me a membership to this gym. It was called The Gym, and it was like this. It's kind of it was cool. It used to be like a roller rink, and the dude turned it into like a gym, and it was awesome, man. Like I feel like that was when like my lifting experience and career really like took off, because there's all these old dudes in there that were jacked, and some of them were pretty juiced up, and like I would just ask them what they were doing, like without being a pest. And before I'd ask them though, like you almost have to like prove yourself to any type of new circle, and I did, just from being consistent and going in like almost every day, and writing up workouts and keeping track of everything I did, and just getting really good progress and results pretty quick. I think I know that's how I am as a coach and stuff for kids and my clients. It's like the people that are really taking off, it's like they're easier to coach, and you want to give them more information and stuff. So after a while, I started getting the kind of, I guess, a little bit of respect from the older dudes, and they would tell me what they were doing, and I would just watch them and figure it out. But man, I think one of the best things in life is just mentorship. Whether it's on YouTube or Instagram or social media now, but or it's from your dad or an uncle or just a friend or something like that. But someone that knows a lot of stuff, and they're like cool with telling you it and teaching you it and stuff like that. So I had a couple mentors through my lifting career and stuff. And you know, it's going to help you get to where you want to be a lot faster. You know, but it's like anything too. It's like you really have to you have to earn their time and their respect and their attention to even waste their time with you. You know, nobody wants to feel like they're wasting their time with you. Like you're not going to do any of the stuff that they tell you to do, because I feel like that's like the worst transfer of energy, is like not being grateful, not using what people tell you. So, you know, to like young dudes out there, or whoever is listening, or old dudes, it's like, you know, you can never. I'm 40 years old, and it's tough, but like you have to be like a child every day. You have to like have like a mindset of like, I don't know shit, and I can learn something from anybody, man. I can learn something from a client or a high school kid that I'm training, or, you know, people that I might know more than in what we're talking about. But yeah, everybody can be a teacher, and if you go into it with that mindset, you know, you're just gonna get nothing but blessings, because you actually become like super coachable, and you start using everything in life. You know, why God brings you certain people and certain situations, and you can use everything as a lesson. And that's it kind of spills into the spiritual and stuff, but it makes everything feel like a synchronicity. And I look at synchronicities as like God's language to me. You know, just signs, or, you know, reasons. It's just weird stuff. You pick up a hitchhiker or something, which there's a lot of that down here, and like they say something that's been on your mind, or like something like, I don't know, maybe there was some internal dialogue, or, you know, maybe I read in scripture, or, you know, or just heard, like it kind of came to me, maybe meditating or being a little stoned or something and meditating. I don't know, whatever the situation was, but it'll just kind of like meet me. And I'll be like, that's so strange. Like I just had that on my mind. So I feel like those are the synchronicities. And just like any muscle, it's like when we listen to that kind of stuff, it gets stronger. You know, it's like you listen to a sense, or like your sixth sense, or your intuition, and you trust it gets stronger, and then you just keep on trusting it more, and have discernment with it, and pick out the stuff that's not true. And, you know, don't take anything anybody says for, you know, face value. You kind of gotta be your own doctor, your own scientist. You have to do all these experimentations in your own life and with your body or your mind to even get there. I guess that's me being a mentor to myself and whoever is trying to listen. And I feel like I've learned a lot of that kind of stuff from people, and that's led me. But yeah, man. So where was I? I was kind of talking about just my progression from gym to gym, and learning one thing to the next. And yeah, so that gym I think was one of the most formative things. The gym in Middlefield, Ohio, with dude's name was Chip. That was like his nickname. He was a cool guy. Like the whole family was just a bunch of big jacked up Italian country boys that were all wrestlers and kind of badasses, especially to like a little kid, a high schooler like me. I was just like, man, I wanted to be a little bit like each one of them in certain ways. But yeah, man, so after that, I think the real next, I guess the kind of results I got, my goal was always just to be natty, you know, no steroids or anything, but like I wanted people to wonder if I was natural or not. And I got to a certain point where they really did. I was like 19, probably like 225 pounds, like less than 9% body fat. I was pretty shredded and incredibly jacked. And my buddy Greg, he used to always tell me, he still does, we laugh about it, but we got on this stuff like Nitrotech and Celtech. It was from like, what was that company called? I don't know. If you know the company, put it in the comments. It was like Nutritech or something like that. I don't remember. It had like a chrome label on all their packaging on the bottles and stuff. But got on this Celtec stuff. It was like a creatine, and then like the stack was for the bros was that stacked up with the protein. It was like Nitrotech and Celtec, protein and creatine. And yeah, my buddy, he swore up and down even today. He's like, that shit was laced. You know, like they put some PEDs in it just like to some beginning batches of it, just to make people just like get freaky results. And he might have been right, because I did not look natty. I looked like a freak of nature, and I never took anything in my life knowingly. But yeah, I looked ridiculous on that stuff, and I didn't even know, you know, because like I had nothing to compare it to. You know, that was just me. To me, it was like the natural progression of just like lifting weights and getting jacked and eating right. And I don't think it was. It might have been. Who knows? Well, to be determined. But yeah, man. From there, I'd always been into like watching UFC and all that kind of stuff. My dad taught me how to box a little bit, and we always wrestled growing up, you know, like at home and with our friends. But you know, I never had any like formal kind of training and stuff. And this dude at the gym, he told me about his friend who was like, I was like probably 19 or probably 20, and this older guy, he was like, yeah, I got this like Muay Thai trainer that's a friend of mine, and his name was Sam. He was like in his 50s. He was like a tall, skinny, wiry, kind of like Anderson Silva type of dude, like 6'3", but he was a freak, man. And he taught Muay Thai. He was like a bouncer and stuff, like going up, and he's one of those old dudes that was always like, you probably know him, where they're like, oh man, if they had UFC when I was a kid, I would have done that stuff. And you know, they didn't. But these guys just had like their own little like fight clubs where they would just meet in a basement or like a fucking warehouse or something, and they would like have like some loose rules, and like they would just kind of spar and beat the shit out of each other like 1 or 2 nights a week, and get all these injuries and probably medical bills and stuff that they never really took care of. And it was crazy. But he was one of those guys, and man, he was a badass, like no joke. And he taught us Muay Thai, and I got my buddy Brad, who's now like a 2nd degree black belt that wins like 80cc tournaments and stuff in like Las Vegas, and just a freak. But we just started doing it, and yeah, man, that was a really cool mentor. We used his garage in the back of like a funeral home for for a number of years. We all chipped in and bought some like foam puzzle mats that were pretty thick, like probably 1.75 inches. They were perfect though, man. And we would just go out to his garage behind his funeral home in Chardon, Rittendaro Funeral Home, and man, we would just like, he would teach us stuff. We wouldn't beat the shit out of each other or anything. Like, taught us how to like spar smart and not hurt each other. And some of the most important things I learned from that guy, man, was like, you know, your training partners, whatever you're doing, whether it's like martial arts or lifting weights or anything, it's like, it's your biggest asset, man. And if you train them up and teach them stuff, and it's going to give you a better training partner, and it's just going to sharpen you, man. It's like in the Bible, man, everything. It's like iron sharpens iron. And so yeah, we would just learn some Muay Thai a couple nights a week, and then you know, use it. And we had these 2 kids come in. They were like 14 or 15 years old, Jimmy and Kyle, who are now like, even to this day, I don't even know how many years ago that was. Probably 16 years ago. And you know, these guys are grown men in their 30s now, and they're just good guys, man. You could see how it developed and shaped them through these years. It's cool, but still, like to this day, they're like some of my best friends and some of the best men that I've ever known. But man, it was all just through what I'm talking about right now, man. Mentorship. You know, one mentor led me to being a mentor for younger younger kids and stuff that needed it, that are now grown-ups, and one of them has kids and they've been mentors from my mentorship. It's crazy to see, looking back, kind of seeing the puzzle of like how many people you touch from like these relationships and skills that you develop from a mentor, and from being coachable and teachable, and it's cool. It's really powerful. But yeah, we eventually got into jiu-jitsu, and yeah, that just led to a whole new world of just I didn't go on there for a long time, because jiu-jitsu just in itself is just it's a whole life path. Just the art teaches you and humbles you and beats you down, and it gives you just something to, like a path in life for a man, for women too and stuff, but like, I'm a man, so I'm just speaking from my experience, but it gives a young man such a awesome path to follow, to like what to become and like how to get there, like every single day. It's like all this stuff. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life, whether it's good stuff or bad stuff, or nothing's going on, it's just the same old shit, and you're just working some 9 to 5, making money for some dude that doesn't really care about you, or a company, whatever. It's like, man, when you have these things, your body and your mind and these skills to develop, it doesn't matter what happens in your day or your year or a decade. It's like, obviously you want stuff to happen, but man, these things will get you through it, because you're always developing like yourself, and that's pretty powerful. It's I think it's the most powerful thing there is. It's that self-development through whatever it is, man. It's like, it's not like always just reading a book or meditating or something. It's going through some shit and learning from it, and whatever, martial arts, or just teaching. Like, I think being a mentor now for me is like the biggest step in my life that God's led me to, and I love it. It's cool. It's humbling, just like everything else. But yeah, man, getting into jiu-jitsu and that just taking us all sorts of ways. I'll probably do a video on that in the future, because that could be a big video about a lot of different stuff and where that's taken me in my little clan or tribe. But yeah, martial arts is cool. It kind of led me in different directions to being a little bit more utility and functional with my body, and having more of a purpose to my training, just besides getting jacked or tan or both, which is still always awesome. But yeah, that kind of led to getting really fit from that, man. It led me to CrossFit. I have my own thoughts about it and stuff. Like anything, man, I think everything's great. It's just who's teaching you? Like, are you looking at it through somebody else's lens? Are you being a little brainwashed, or is it your journey that you're figuring out as you go? Are you having discernment with it? Are you realizing that, like, a lot of it is someone else's journey, and are you becoming part of somebody else's journey without like questioning? That stuff's not cool. Hold on 1 second. Pause this stuff. Yeah. So anyway, I going back to my whole story, kind of led me into CrossFit. Yeah, it's like anything. It's got a like a framework to it, but and it could be taken. It could take you pretty far with certain aspects of like fitness and health and stuff, but I think a lot, it just kind of lies in like the and the responsibility of like the person doing it. People really like blindly follow a lot of things, and it's apparent with any type of system that is like, complete, like CrossFit or whatever. It's so kind of taboo talking about it because it's like, I think a lot of people have like the cult mindset with stuff where if they find something that saved their lives or like changed their lives or did whatever, it's like they don't really look at it from a place of they can't really look at it with discernment. It's almost like something happens in people's minds where if they look at it a certain way, like it saved their life or did something, got them out of a depression or, just led them to some stuff, they're going to put like all of their, everything they believe into it, instead of like realizing that like all it really is like a container that can keep you moving forward, and teaching you new things about, your health and your body and stuff like that. People just kind of, they attach themselves to it and they just don't question any of it. But you're supposed to question everything. It's actually normal and healthy. It's like when you don't, those are not really super interesting people to communicate with or even like learn anything from, because they don't know. They just kind of like repeating what they've been told or what they do. They might not even really look deep into why it makes them feel good or why it makes them strong or happy or healthy or any of that kind of stuff. So got into that for a while. I always kind of put my own twist on it though, man. I never drank the Kool-Aid. I mean, I did a little bit. But the whole time we were doing it, me and a couple buddies, we were just kind of doing it just to kind of measure ourselves up against, like, see how our styles of training through the years and growing up would kind of match up against people that came up like a different way. And at first it was pretty cool, just like anything. It's like, martial arts, you get a boxer versus a wrestler, or, a bodybuilder versus like whatever, a sumo wrestler. And it's like all these different, it's like Street Fighter 2 or whatever. It's like, you got all these different body types and weight classes and different styles going up against each other. And it's fun to see kind of what happens. But like anything, it all just kind of merges together and there just becomes one most effective way of training. And it's, what we have now is like mixed martial arts, or, even like training for like the CrossFit Games and stuff. It's kind of like a template, and it, certain ones have been proven. There's still a lot of like pioneering and stuff in it where people are figuring out, hey, my style worked better, obviously. But for the most part, yeah, it just all becomes like one thing. But it was fun when we started because we took our bodybuilding and powerlifting and all that kind of stuff, and I like doing like strongman type of stuff, even though I'm like not like really a strong man, strong boy training maybe, even at my best. But it was just fun. It was fun taking your own styles and matching it up against people and just owning them. Like it was really fun just beating people down and whooping their asses like pretty easily. But yeah, so I did that for a while. Got all the injuries that go along with it, from doing 50 snatches at your body weight for time and handstand walking a mile or whatever. But there's two ways to find out. You listen to somebody that knows, or you go find out. Finding out isn't always the most efficient way, but you get a lot of experience when you find out yourself. And egos and pride and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes you can't get through. I mean, I'll admit it. My ego and my pride are tough to overcome a lot of times. And but I think admitting it is the first step to getting a handle on it. So yeah, after CrossFit and stuff for a while, the next progression naturally was just kind of trying to get my body back and fix it. Fasted for a long time and try to just heal some injuries, and started really listening to my body and what it wanted instead of just like cramming these templates of workouts and training templates into a day or a week, and just having, I don't know, your whole body just feels destroyed all the time. Didn't really feel like there's much other energy besides to like put into anything else in life, like business or growth or anything like that. I was just always exhausted from training myself into the ground. So yeah, man, just got into training more intuitively. Listen to my body, listen to what my body wanted to eat. It's almost like breaking an addiction to exercise, which is could be pretty detrimental to your health. I think I kind of shocked my adrenals, my kidneys from going so hard every day and like not really, I don't know, man, like a lot of that stuff is it's almost like it's like a survival mechanism in your nervous system where it takes a while for your nervous system to fully recover from doing some of that shit. So it's whatever. It's how you learn sometimes. But yeah, now I'm just kind of going back to like the basics, which was just lifting, for aesthetics and some strength and not crushing my body. And for a while I was only doing like one resistance training workout a week, and the rest of the week was just kind of like just movement, swimming, jogging, hiking, just taking it easy, full resting. But yeah, I'm getting to a spot where my body's starting to feel really good and kind of recovering from all the bullshit I put it through, and feels good. I like it. And it's to a point where it's like, you gotta just listen to yourself. It's everybody's got like their way of doing stuff, and they wanna push it upon people. It's like, just find out for yourself with everything, man, and listen to people. Listen to people that know better, that are giving you the time or attention to teach you some stuff. And eventually, the circle of life is you teaching that stuff to somebody, whether it's your kids or clients or friends or whatever, little neighbor kids, whoever. But yeah, it's kind of like the circle of mentorship that I've gone through. And it's funny how, I don't know if you ever read the book The Alchemist, but it's the same thing. It's like you kind of leave your town, your hometown, and you change what you did, and you go try to see the world, or this could be metaphorical. You just try to, find out some new stuff. And I think it always kind of comes back to the beginning, to like where it all started. And it's kind of cool how that it goes like that. It's a cool place to be, to have it go for full circle, or at least to catch it in the middle of like this cycle and be like, I see where it's going, and it's cool. Yeah, that's all I got for today. Hope you guys have a good day. If you're working out in the gym, hope you have an awesome workout. Hope you feel motivated or inspired by something in your life, and I hope you guys inspire some people or motivate some people in your day. But yeah, man, keep it up, stay healthy, get fucking jacked. Peace out.